Terrible. How's everyone doing? Everything should be live now. Everything should be live now. Okay, sounds good. Michi, how's it going? I seem to have received quite a few complaints in the past several hours while I was sleeping regarding your run. Cheops, how's it going? Okay, let me see. Who all do we have in chat here? Steel, Lem, Warpcore, Sora, Alan, Cooper, Gregory, Hines. Former con member, Mac, Michi. We have always lived in the castle. August, Phantom 8, Arctic Chief, Steven, Waldo. You just want an 8x10? Terrible. Stuka, how's it going? Get over to the right game scene here. S-Trick, how's it going? Julie? Cavador, how's it going? So we do have some of the giveaways that have ended here today. I did have to re-roll the giveaway for PlayStation because the first winner did not realize it was PlayStation, so we've re-rolled that, and it is now over to Plonk. So Plonk, if you're on PlayStation, then make sure to respond there. That magnificent face, terrible. Duke, how's it going? I knew non-PlayStation people would enter it. Yeah. Now for the other giveaway that ended today, this is for the lobby traits. So for space, that's Boimler, Improvised Boarding Party, Make It Go, Roving Explosive, Drukmani. Then ground is Space Explorer is a great gig, Lower Decks Experience, Shadow of the Black Mountain, Consulting the Team, and Bartered by Combat. And there were 10 winners there, so make sure to check the Discord and see if you won. Doing good. So Sora, I've heard the issues about the gamma recruitment, the counter not going up for TFOs, and I'd say, there's clearly some TFOs it's not programmed to work with, but just wait a week. Apparently the red alert, the red alerts do count for that, so you could just spam a bunch of Borg or Tholian red alerts next week, and you'll be a little bit bored, by the end of it, but you can get your 100 done rather easily doing that. So if any of you have a Gemidar that you need to get the Q task done on, then take advantage of the red alerts next week. Best science ship with an epic prize token. There isn't really a best science ship from the Phoenix tokens. It's going to be what has an accessory that's going to benefit you. So if you're looking for survivability, maybe Protomatter Field Projector. That is really good AoE survivability too if you're trying to heal allies or NPCs. It is the single best NPC heal in the entire game, so if you're doing any content where that matters, then the Protomatter Field Projector off the Lucari ship in there, that might be a good way to go. But aside from that, for EPG, there's just not really anything specifically from those Phoenix ships that is going to be crazy for you. Johnny, how's it going? Yeah. Yeah, Phoenix ships at this point are mostly Space Barbie. They are rather outdated. Um, but definitely, like, if I was going in for a science build, I feel like, most of the options here aren't going to do a damn thing for you. But the Lucaria Hokun, at least getting the console off that heal, that's going to do something for you. Yeah, the Lucari. Yeah, soloist builds run PFP, so yeah, that's the route that I'd go. Azure, how's it going? The Breen ships do look really good visually. What is my opinion about the compiler for a space build? The compiler is an extremely capable platform duke. Um, I can't remember the guy's name that had a build for it. There was a build for the compiler that was really good for solo stuff. I'm blanking out on the name right now. Might be able to find it here. Distant Night. Yeah, Distant Night had a really good compiler build. I'm gonna put it in chat. That was like this compiler build was really good. It could do really well solo. Like it was just a really, really good build for that ship. Yeah, that's a detailed breakdown on that link there. So definitely check that out. It is a very capable platform. And doing good. Sarthine is a good troop carrier. Okay. Uh, doesn't the Crown of Science also have a decent console? Yes. Timeline Stabilizer, it's decent, but it's got a bit less value in the current state of the game. It's not bad, but if you're going for it, it's because you're trying to do like the flagship three piece, and you're using that as the third console alongside adaptive emergency systems and flagship tech computer. Badge, how's it going? Sorry to be a pain. I know temp is good for Psi, but I've noticed a lot of the Psi ships don't have temp. Does this matter to my build? It just means you're losing out on some of the really nice uncons and temporal abilities. You can still do a science build without temporal, but there is very much a reason why all of the top Psi ships generally have temporal on them. Michi had a crazy run yesterday. I was too slow on the gate. Let's see. Michi's got the VOD posted, so let me pull it up here. Okay. Oh no, there's some prep stuff in here. Michi, I don't know. I don't know about this anymore. Look at all of this prep phase stuff going on. Cheating and gatekeeping, yeah, bro. YouTube just said I went live. Terrible. Yeah, there's gonna be 3 people upset about this. What's with the prep phase drama? Basically one person salty that we will allow people to do stuff in prep phase, while they're in the map, but that we won't allow them to, do stuff outside of the map and bring it in. It's basically one person who doesn't get along with most people, so they're just not happy in general. This is just another thing they're not happy about. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in prep phase here. The thing is too is people get mad about stuff that happens in these really high end runs, but there's people think it's that is preventing them from getting numbers like that, and there's so much going into these high end runs. Like the prep phase stuff, it is adding an extra 1%, going in, hitting a couple extra consoles. It's a giving us a little bit extra. But there's so much else going into those runs that make them unrealistic to the majority of players. Like, I understand people not being, happy about that. But there's so much more going on that is making this environment completely different from what most of you are going to experience in your infected runs. Dan, thank you for the subscription and the 10 bits. Much appreciated. Yeah, so this was 6 mil for Michi, and this was with a CSV misfire. Like, there was a CSV misfire on the right side. Bej, thank you for the 5 gifted. Very much appreciated. Sorry, I missed some stuff in chat here. Again, Fej, I really appreciate that. And Dan, thank you also. Yeah, the run for Michi was like the misfire was at such a bad time that there was an attempt to just abort the run, and then it just finished. The gate did die a couple seconds later. I messed up with my timing when taking the gate out. So that was my bad. I hit my high yield before decloaking, which means I had some issues with my theta. I didn't get a high yield from that. That was a mistake on my part. The Typhoon should drop on console, I think, November 14th, as soon as the Red Alert event ends. I was able to pick up 2 T6 boxes out of the flash sale, opening 30 DOF packs. Sora, it's not that there's a higher chance, per se. It's more of when there's more people opening boxes, it seems like it's you just have slightly better chances when there's a bunch of people opening at the same time. But I mean, yes and no. It's just if a lot of people are opening boxes, then it just seems like there is more wins. Can't give away lockbox ships in chat. We should have a lobby ship and a bunch of sales, popping up at the end of November. Ryan, how's it going? Thank you for the sub. Very much appreciated. The red alert on console, I believe, ended a couple days ago. I saw the question, going over this on the Stow subreddit, the Stow build subreddit, the Excelsior 2 console or emulating Phase Alliance. I think both are good. Both are really good consoles. I think getting immolating phaser lance now and then having it ready for UD later on is probably a good route to go. But if you're looking for that beam immersion, the Excelsior 2 console, I mean, they're both good consoles. They really are. And what's nice about the E2 console is you can start reducing its cooldown with Uncon as soon as you hit it, just like Fleet Power Network Array. So you can have that up a bit more often than some other consoles. There's value to both of them. If you're on PC, head on over to the Triple Test server and copy a shipbox over and try them both out. If you're super lucky, yes, Johnny here is sponsoring some giveaways over in the Builds Discord in starting up in late November. That'll be running up through almost through Christmas. So there's a promo ship, lockbox ship, lobby ship, and a T6 coupon. Again, Johnny, thank you for that. Yeah, and the thing is too is if you're willing to go for MUDs bundles, you can get the immolating phaser lance on account wide unlock through the fighter pilot choice pack. That is expensive though. That's it's $150. Steve-O, thank you for the sub. Very much appreciated. I do have the VOD from my point of view in that run. So let me pull it up here. Yeah, this is Michi's run from my point of view. I messed up here hitting my high yield. That's why the gate went down so slow. But there's, when I talked about, or just a couple minutes ago, about there being a lot of stuff in these supported runs that people don't realize. We've got a couple people here on the team hitting the console from the Credence. We don't even have our pets out yet, so the pets don't steal the buffs, but the multiple supports are hitting that console to provide that dilithium console buff to Michi. We've got 20 stacks of friendship on him. We've got a whole host of other buffs going his way, and then a bunch of debuffs to everything in the map. People are getting upset about the prep phase stuff, but I think if people understood just how disconnected these really high-end record-setting runs are from your standard channel runs, I think there'd be other things they'd be upset about. Yeah, so me having that high yield preloaded just like really screwed me up here because one of my other torps I think got it. Yeah, it's me not having that just slowed me down for taking the gate down. But yeah, these infected runs, when they're well executed, in a split environment like this, we're talking about 20-second runs now. Most people are doing channel runs where they think it's fast if it's, a minute and a half, and it's, 20 seconds versus 90 seconds. It's a very different environment. And people will look at the table and see these runs at the top, and they're like, they'll see something like prep phase and think that's what's preventing them from hitting those numbers. When the reality is it's the whole supporting team. These supporting teams have a huge impact. Having someone that can go in and take the entire other side of the map down, in 10 seconds. Someone that can take the gate down, ideally in 5 seconds. Though I was slow here, I messed up. Again, this is a run we were going to try and abort, and then it just completed. Like that gate just goes down. And if I'd had my second high yield ready for that Maelstrom, the second Maelstrom, it would have died a couple seconds faster. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going into those runs, not just hitting a couple extra consoles in prep phase. The anniversary event will be end of January. I probably do, Steven. I think this might be it. No, not this one. The one before? Yeah, this has to have been it. Why is that glitching out like that? Yep, this right here. Where you went to the gate on accident? Yeah. You forgot what roll you were on. Yeah, exactly. Like the prep phase stuff is certainly adding, potentially a couple extra 100K, but it's not the difference between 5 and 6 mil. Don, how's it going? Yeah, team synchrony is the key. Space or ground. If people can't understand that, you really can't help them. Yeah. Um, People don't understand. Just it's a completely different environment for split runs. Thaleron runs are by far the most disconnected from reality when you're looking at DPS records, because Thaleron runs, those will be the top of the table. They have been in the past, and they will be again in the future when Game Freaks gets his runs together. Um, and those are going to be numbers like 20 million, 30 million DPS, potentially, maybe even higher. And the way that that's done is the Thaleron user sits up behind the gate in a certain position. There's people nuking down the left side, people nuking down the right side, the start, and then there's a support going in, grabbing all the spheres and putting them up right in front of the Thaleron user, who's sitting up at the top of the gate behind it, pointing out towards where you would spawn in. And they're using Graviton Displacer or something like that to get the spheres right in front of the Thaleron user, so that they have a ton of overkill going to each of those spheres, the gateway, the cube. There's a lot of mechanics to it, but basically, with those runs, they're the most disconnected from reality, because not only is it heavily, coordinated in a way that is just not seen in your typical channel or pug environments, but it's also just the amount of overkill you're seeing in there. The reason Thaleron does so much is because even if you have a sphere in front of the Thaleron user that's only got 800,000 HP, that Thaleron pulse is going to come out and do, potentially 30, 40, maybe 50 million damage to it. And with how the combat log system works in Stow, that total damage is going to be registered even if that sphere only had 800K. So that's a big disconnect from reality there, because you could potentially be doing 50, 60 times the amount of damage to the target that it has HP, and all of it's going to count. Okay. I missed a couple things. Tim? Just chatting about deep stuff. Do I think the winter event will have another Breen ship like the Disco Dread, Fakiri, or something else? I think something else. For supporting at this level, it has to pretty much be the Silic or one of its variants, because we need the IFF console. And, we've looked at the other platforms out there. If they remove the restrictions for the IFF console, I think we'd all probably end up going to the Friendship. But aside from that, we need to make sure that we're in platforms that have 2 hangar bays, and just have room to do all the other stuff we need to do with those sport builds. We demand answers. I need to release a Breen Huds bundle. Why are you hating on the overkill? Aren't you casual? I mean, yeah, if you guys have questions, you know, feel free to drop them in. That's the point of this, is for me to answer questions from you guys. Um, yeah, the friendship is really great. What would happen if Cryptic Deca decided you couldn't stack the same buff on one target anymore? Um, I think a lot of people would quit at the high end. A lot of people have dropped a ton of money onto, you know, support builds and stuff like that. And, you know, looking at like the friendship, you know, that's $100 per character we want that on, basically. And some of the people I play with have that dropped on, you know, 4 or 5 characters. If Cryptic or Deca came out and said you can't stack that anymore, given how terrible the server performance is, and given how little there is for end game, you know, for players at that level of end game stuff to do in the game, um, yeah, I think players like that would just give up, because this is like the only thing keeping some of these people engaged in the higher level scenes engaged, is doing these types of record runs. Without them, you know, we've beat all the other content in the game many times over. It's not difficult. There's just not much fun to do in most of the other stuff in the game for players like that. Um, is there any new ships? There'll be a new ship probably for the Infinity Lockbox in a couple weeks. Probably around the 14th, to be honest. Are we gonna have a no shave November, Spencer? It's time to unleash me, Spencer. Nick has been really pressuring me to do that. Um, I'm just not super interested in that right now. Should I invest in a Roth IRA, or at this point, or a traditional IRA? Whatever your financial advisor says is best for your situation. I don't know which of those is better right now. I don't know what to tell you. Do bots control the exchange? There are certainly exchange bots out there that will automatically buy things up that are posted at a low enough price point. Um, Louder, it's gonna be, you know, just take a look at people doing, like, any videos you can find of people doing, you know, channel runs up near, you know, Miller higher. Because if you have a completed build, then, like, if you've got a build that's completed and it lines up with what you've seen, you know, on places online, on the discords, it's going to come down to how you're piloting your ship. That is a huge factor to build performance that doesn't get talked about enough. um, you know, how you're flying your ship, how aggressive you're flying in the combat, that's going to have a huge impact. So I'd say take a look at footage of people, you know, doing runs, see how they're flying, see where they're timing their abilities. That's really the biggest jump up you'll see, is getting that stuff nailed down. Because, you know, just getting that figured out could easily be, you know, 2 to 3xing even more, you know, your DPS. What are weapon mods and how do they work both for space and ground? Which, basically crit D damage for the epic mod, and then either crit D or damage for any of the other mods. That's it. The pen modifier is fine too. You know, if you're on a budget doing a crafted, using crafted weapons in space, pen mod works. It does fall behind once you have over 140 debuff in a run. But most people are not in those types of environments. Think bots control the Dilex for sure. Yeah. I think there are still bot farms, but the issue is that the ones that remain are the ones that have always been there, that are high performing, and are set up doing things like Admiralty that, you know, players like you and I can't really track. I've seen, I had someone message me about accounts that were sitting on, I forget which one of the older social maps, And the accounts would just be there, most of the time. Um, there's definitely accounts that are suspicious, but as a player, I can't with 100% confidence say, that they're botting or not. Really is something we need the devs to investigate, and I just don't think they're in a position to do that, and I'm not sure how willing they are to do it. Do we know who is moving over to Deca other than our favorite Borticus? Um, I would not be surprised if they kept, some of the other like senior uh team members around. Like I think keeping Thomas around would make a lot of sense. Um, Tumor Boy also for the environmental side. Keeping people that are very familiar with some of these older systems is beneficial to Deca. Can't give up until I hit 6+ mil in HSC, then I'm gonna go play WoW with Nick. Terrible. Just want to purchase a 4x5 of you without a signature. Terrible. The issue is, Madman, is that you can experience those types of server issues even when you're the only person in a map. Just ask Cheops here. Cheops spent 2 weeks doing Hive Space Advanced to get the solo run that was, like, what was it, 8 seconds, 5 million DPS. Um, and even in those solo environments, you can still experience lag. What are the odds of a legendary bundle before the end of the year? I think right now, I would say to not expect any legendary bundle this year. But yeah, it wouldn't matter. The servers suck regardless, even if you're the only person in the map. Download speed is super slow and also gets connection error. I I I would say if you have a VPN, try to turn the VPN on. Yeah, piloting's huge. Figuring out how to pilot your ship in the maps that you're focused on getting a higher record in, that's always the best the best return that you're going to get for your build is just spending the time to figure out how to pilot it, how to time your abilities. It's all based on screen capture, so they can't detect it. I'm aware. I'm aware of how automation software works. There's a lot of things that they can't really with 100% certainty track because it's going to look like legitimate behavior. Neil Thomas, how's it going? Bughole? Yeah, I would not expect to see legendaries for a while. I know people want more legendary ships, but I think given everything going on right now, just don't expect it anytime soon. Nemesis, if you're on PC, November 14th, and if you're over on console, in January. It should be a feast event. I don't remember what the reward was from the feast. The feast event last year was the Maelstrom and Trifluoride. So I mean, it could be Spacer Ground. 5.2 mil in 7.4 seconds. Thank you very much. I didn't remember your exact number. I'm sorry, Geops. Um, we will probably see a Muds item 75% sale around Black Friday. But, for Muds bundles, I would love to see a 75% Muds bundle sale. But realistically, I think we should all expect that when Muds bundle sales do return, they will probably just be 50%. and it's 50-50 as to whether or not we're going to get one with Black Friday. You know, I don't know if they'll do it at Black Friday or the end of year sales. Last year they did it for both, but who knows this year? If we get a legendary bundle, we want to see an assault cruiser Luna attack heavy sovereign. Yeah, that'd be great. Am I still working on a video regarding deluxe solutions? Yes, I still have. I also held off on my video for questions for Deca just because I didn't think it was good timing to release it. Given there was a bit of a delay, I didn't think it was good time to release it. You know, the week that was going to be the final week for most over there at Cryptic. Um, so that stuff's going to be coming here in November. What ships would I like to see in the next Muds bundle? I'd love to see the Anorax and Zentaur. Give me a Muds bundle with the Anorax and Zentaur in it. Anorax, Centaur, and what other older ship would I like to see? Crossfield Refit? Mirror Warship? I don't know. There's 3 different community managers that have been hired by Deca. One of them in just the past day or so. I don't know when we'll see them, you know, start to engage, but I did, you know, I keep a track on this search filter over on LinkedIn, and I did see just a day ago they had another community manager sign up, but I don't know what game they're covering. You know, there's 2 other folks that they've brought in over the year as community managers. I don't know who is going to be handling, you know, Stowe, and I don't know when they're going to start to engage with us. Yeah, I would have to imagine that if they're not talking to us so far, there's probably a reason for it. So hopefully, you know, that's explained when they, if that is the case, that there's an explanation given when they do start to engage. Do I think Deca will somehow revamp the Infinity Lockbox? I mean, there's literally reworks already done. Where is it? I did a video on this earlier this year, but one of the former Cryptic team members, one of the UI artists, you know, they did do a rebuild of the system internally. Like, I looking at this, I assume it's done. It's just for whatever reason they decided to not make it public. I don't know. You know, I did a video on this several months ago. It's there. This person did this before they departed Cryptic. It looks like it's done to me, but I don't know. If you jumped in at the end like the Thaleron Pulse, but CSV, would you potentially get more DPS? No. CSV doesn't have the overkill potential of Thaleron Pulse. The reason that Thaleron Pulse, the reason Thaleron runs are able to do as well as they do is because of just how powerful that ability is. Do I have that video here in front of me? Hold on. Okay. So here's a video for one of the very first successful Thaleron runs. And again, you know, I talked about this earlier about how Thaleron's really disconnected from the reality of what most players experience in, you know, DPS chasing. Um And you see here the scimitar is setting itself up in a position behind the gate. That this has been like calculated to be the optimal position for it. Um, and then it's just waiting for the team to do their stuff. And the Thaleron user has a very specific buff up sequence that they have to follow. So it's just a matter of getting everything timed. See, it's starting to go through his buff sequence, and the Thaleron itself has like a 12 to 13 second charge up time where you can't hit anything while it's doing that. So you can't move, you can't hit any abilities. Your teammate, you have to be buffed up and in the right position when you hit it, and then your team moves everything in front of you, and you fire off that Thaleron pulse, which just does an absurd amount of damage. So you see here, Warhammer was at 100k DPS, 146k prior to the Thaleron pulse going off. And then it goes off and it does, 20 to 30 million damage to all of these spheres and probes that only have like a million or 2 HP. So it's a massive amount of overkill, and it goes from like 100k up to 14 million. And then attack cube dies a second later, and it ends at 13. Like those runs are, the high-end coordinated runs are already very disconnected from what most experience in their normal runs, and then Thaleron is just up there at an extreme level. Yeah, you can get some crazy overkill from it. Rachel, how's it going? Lady Space Patrol, I don't think they actually put those in. We need a higher chance to get T6 ships out of it, absolutely. What are my thoughts on the Merchantman ship from Search for Spock? That's a very odd question. I wonder why you're asking that. But yeah, I think that's certainly an interesting ship. The Merchantman ship, yeah. Let's. I think Real Merch has a physical model of that. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, the Merchantman. That's certainly a ship. For those of you not sure what that looks like this, and it is available at Real Merch, which is linked in the description down below, and you can get an extra 10% off by using code CasualSAB at checkout. Yeah, the Merchantman, certainly a ship that exists. Robert, how's it going? Kale is gone. I don't know. His LinkedIn still shows him there, but he may just not have updated it. David, how's it going? What are my thoughts? T6 small ships, additional small ship content. I don't think we're going to see anymore. I believe there was even, there was a push to do some shuttle stuff several years ago. They put in a shuttle PvP map. They were working on like a shuttle race map, I believe, but none of that ended up going through. Basically, they put some stuff in, saw that like 95%, 99% of people just didn't care about it. People predominantly just want to fly around their main ship. They don't want to mess around with shuttles. So they just ended up just scrapping it and focusing on other stuff. And 10 players, the issue is the servers. You hop into a map that has 10 players. I mean, hell, 5 players most of the time has server performance issues. You get 10, 20 players, it's ridiculous. What is my opinion about the PvP in STO, and do I find it unfair? Yes, I think PvP in STO is not very friendly to those wanting to get into it. You really start to have a lot of the pay to win side of things start to come in when you're trying to make a competitive PvP build, because you need a lot of certain traits, items, duty officers, stuff like that if you really want to be super competitive. You're going to be at a disadvantage because of the Endeavor system. It's not friendly to new players that come in, and there's a reason why the PvP scene has struggled to grow pretty much the entire time that I've played this game. I don't know what to say to make it more fun for all, but let's put it into a DPS perspective. There's players in this game that can legitimately do in like a solo or pug environment, upwards of 2 million DPS in infected elite. And your average player playing this game will struggle to do 10 to 20k. Like, you put those two players then, competing against each other in a PvP, it's not, there's not even a fight. It's, you've got the skill difference in this game. The skill gap's always been massive, especially with higher performance stuff. And then you've got the cost, which really does come into play for PvP. I don't know what to say to make it more fun for all. Madman, no. Hesperian. So the issue is you don't want to kill stuff. That would actually lower your damage, Madman. You want to not damage those spheres and probes in front of the Thaleron Pulse because they will die very easily. You want them to be alive so that the Thaleron Pulse can hit them. Every single one that you hit is you losing, potentially every single one that you kill before the Thaleron Pulse goes off is, 20, 30, 40 million damage lost for the Thaleron user. Not super far, Rob. Stargate. Yeah, I assume there's a lockbox ship on the 14th. I wonder what it could be as well. I have no idea. Yeah, they tried to do shuttle racing, but just people didn't really enjoy it. Jeffrey, how's it going? PvP endeavors. Yeah, the PvP endeavors are basically just your PvP players happy that they get to do some matches and basically shoot at a bunch of players that are going to die as instantly as a Borg does because they don't have builds for that environment. Yeah, I look, I used to be a PvP player in this game. I gave up on that several years ago because I saw where things were heading. It was clear the devs didn't give a single F about PvP, and I still think that holds true for the most part. Jonathan was a bit more friendly in that regard, but I really just don't think PvP is anywhere near the top of their priority list. Doing good, Jeffrey. PvP Endeavor Day is all you need to show what's wrong, yeah. Yeah, AJ. And in fact, in PvP, that's very common too. Alpatron, how's it going? Deal? Any kind of idea of what ship we might be getting for the winter event? No idea. No idea. Yeah, and post Delta Rising 2, there was a big shift for PvP. Prior to Delta Rising, PvP was easier for people to get into because there wasn't starship traits. There wasn't as much power creep. You didn't have specializations. Was just a bit more balanced back then. There was still issues, but it was easier for people to put a build together to get into it if they wanted. It was more about, how well is your set of keybinds, how good is your ability rotation. That was more of a factor back then. And after Delta Rising, things just fell apart. Yes, there's going to be a 15th anniversary. Yeah, Rob, you know, um, just be careful about what you say, and Boeing will not send any hit squads after you. I heard Real Merch has winter ships. Real Merch has a lot of ships. Real Merch has many, many ships for Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, I'll drop this in chat because it's not going to show up for Twitch folks. But yeah, Real Merch. There's the link in chat, and if you've never used Real Merch before, they've got some nice stuff. They ship out really fast too, but they've even got a bunch of the BSG ships. Why is this not showing in American? There we go. But yeah, these models are pretty good size. The BSG ones are really good quality. The Pegasus, which I don't think they have right now, that's probably my favorite model that there was from the BSG lineup. It just feels the best. It's got a bit of extra weight to it. Yeah, there's lots of nice stuff over there. You got some of these STO ship models also. There's even a couple of XLs back in stock. The Discovery, I know a lot of you like Discovery. Is the Credence a good promo ship to choose for the 2025 event? Yeah, the Credence is probably the best lockbox or promo ship of the year so far. The Herogen Predator coming in, second. But the Credence definitely is going to be so far my top pick for 2025. That may change though. We have another 2 lockbox ships coming out this year. There will be one in probably about 2 weeks. And then there will be another in December. Typically there's one lockbox or promo ship a month, and yeah, we should be seeing 2 more this year. So right now the Credence is the best, but that could possibly change. Yeah. What is my favorite Star Trek episode or movie? Something that is special to me. Oh, favorite episode. Movie wise, I'm gonna go out there and say either First Contact or Nemesis. First Contact is obviously the better of the two, but Nemesis introduced a lot of nice Romulan elements. Um, as for like episode, oh man, I don't know if I can say a specific episode off the top of my head. Yeah, Geist Wolf, go ahead. There's plenty of room in the KDF fleet. New mods bundle incoming by Black Friday. I mean, I would like to see that. Is the Credence the Credence was released in 24, so if they do an event campaign in 25, which I imagine they would, then it would be an option there. I think I missed something up here. Waiting for you to start an account with pictures of my ships. They're all in boxes. I have exactly one ship not in a box right now. One ship. I have a single ship currently out just because I have too many, and um I just don't have enough room. Like, behind me is a wall of boxes. I got that big mystery box, and I need to continue selling some stuff from it. Well, I got these. So here's why there's only one right now. A couple months back, we were looking to transfer apartments, and I'd gotten some nice shelving that I was going to put up. But when I heard, that we were looking to swap apartments, I was like, I'm just gonna hold off. I'm not gonna put this stuff up right now. Um, and then that just didn't happen, and I never put the shelves up. We're still on the waiting list, so it could happen at any time. But it's just been, I don't want to put shelves up that I'm gonna be taking right back down. I don't want to put holes in the wall if just potentially a couple months out from moving. That's why there's not many out. I do have a bunch of shelving behind me, that just goes on the floor, but um, it just, if I put stuff out on it right now with all the boxes there, I wouldn't see it. I do want to get some models out though. I might, I'm gonna have to check next week, see what the progress is. If they say that it's not gonna happen anytime in the next, half year, I'll probably put some shelves up here soon. But I'll probably put some up like above, to my right, above where my computer is. I don't know how many will be visible for the backdrop though. Yeah, that's why there's only one right now. Uh Steven, I haven't even played the two most recent story missions, so I don't know how the story will wrap up. Titan A should be delivered this month, yeah. Um Terrible madman. By looks alone, what ship do I like personally? For the feds, the Sovereign. I always liked how the Sovereign looked. For KDF, the Negvar, definitely. I'd like to see, and like we've said many a times, a legendary version of that. For Romulans, if we're going with Stowe, I do like the Dalkina. I like that it's a bit simpler. But I do also just really like the Scimitar. For Jem'Hadar, the Gem Dread. Do I think someday the warp drive will be possible? Oh, for sure, for sure. Do I think we might get some Picard era ships in the Sea Store? Probably not, because most of them end. Well, I mean, there already a few like that are inspired from that era. At least the skins. Or did they end up all going lockbox? Sagan, Connie 3, E2. Yeah, I guess they've all like went lockbox. But yeah, a lot of the ships from Picard were originally Stowe models, so Strange New Worlds era ships. I think we'll see some Strange New World stuff heading into next year. Thomas already said that basically, that this year was going to be lower decks, Prodigy and lower decks. So I would expect the final two ships that we get, like lockbox wise this year, they're going to be from probably lower decks, because I think there's a larger pool of ships missing from that than there is from Prodigy. Was there ever a lockbox ship that eventually went to the normal Zen store? Yes. Um, but typically in bundles. You know, you look at the 12th bundle, the 13th, the 14th, those all had those all had lockbox ships, you know, in them, but you had to buy the entire bundle. In the Mud store, there is the very first tier 6 lockbox ship is actually in the Mud store as a standalone Mud ship, and that is the Bentham Cruiser. It just really sucks because it was the very first T6 ship, so it had like just a lieutenant spec seat or something. Yeah, Lieutenant Intel. If a Muds bundle sale does happen this year, I expect one will. Will I pick up any, or still not planning on it? As mentioned a while back, I'm gonna think about it. So my plan for content here in November, there's obviously some stuff I've said I wanted to get done that hasn't happened yet. And that stuff is still gonna happen. But you know, I'm reorienting my schedule right now. The questions for DECA, the Deluxe stuff, I still want to talk about those. Victor, the discount code is CasualSAB, all one word. There you go. There's the copy paste. But just lost my track. Yeah, so the questions for DECA, the Deluxe video is still going to happen, but with Black Friday incoming, I want to get a lot of sales focused stuff done. So I'm going to be doing an updated Muds Bundle tier list, my best Zen ships video, a lot of that style of content this month. Need the Heritage Bundle in your life? Yeah, well, there will most likely be a Heritage Bundle or a 35% bundle sale, you know, popping up at Black Friday would be my guess. The Zen sale will probably start a week or so before the actual Black Friday sale. But yeah, will I buy any? I still am really interested in Disco Inferno, but you know, if it's just a 50% mods bundle sale, which is what I do expect it to be, I don't know if I'll what else I'd get after that. Not quite primal. The closest you're gonna see is the Norway, the Fleet Norway. And that does have some things you're losing, you know, versus the Dokina. In light of the growth of your channel and hitting the 10K milestone, are there any plans of expanding the channel to cover other games to the extent you do with Stowe? Probably not right now because, you know, World of Warships I play pretty casually. I don't know if I really want to do much content there right now. And the other game that I was doing some content for, O Game, when I do another video for that, it's going to be telling people to stay the hell away from it because it's O Game went down such a bad path. Like their most recent expansion, let me just show you guys how ridiculous this is. Like their most recent expansion, their idea to bring people back was to put in a bunch of AI generated crap to let you have your own profile. It's like their most recent update is going in, adding in a profile so you can show your progression. Then there's this achievements that you can do, and some of these, you know, are stupidly expensive. Like you'd have to dump thousands into the game to get some of these. but the avatars that they put in, like it's clearly AI generated for a lot of this crap. Yeah, just like that was their big expansion this year, was to put in this profile system and these achievements with a bunch of AI generated crap to try and get people to put more into the game. It's like, what the hell? Instead of resolving the actual issues with the game, that's what they did. Terrible. Need to set it up, so I just push 3 buttons in order to bring up any function. It's a Trek tradition. I've got a bunch of extra keyboards around, but some smaller ones too. I could easily set something like that up. Cheapest is infuriating, yeah. Yeah, I've got a really high developed account over No Game. Played it for several years, and just post 2020, they really went down a monetization path that was just absolutely garbage. And you could probably hear the niece is crying right outside my door. Mirror Angle is a kind of a beast. Yeah, that's true. But that is a ship you have to buy a bundle to get. That's not a $30 ship. The Atlantis is also pretty good. The Atlantis, as Kraust and Michi have shown, is actually a very capable C-store platform for, especially for just going into like pug runs and stuff. You slap the hexa cannons on the Atlantis, and it's doing pretty well for phaser build. And phaser's really not that far behind plasma right now. Um, you know, you could still get 95% of the DPS a plasma build can get with a phaser build, especially with hexa cannons. Do I see them doing another heritage bundle? Yes, I do imagine we will see that next summer. I don't know what ships they'd bring in. Bad man, terrible. But yeah, the Atlantis is really good. The Atlantis Temporal Destroyer. This is one of the ships from the 14th bundle. And, the trait from this we've always known as good. But the ship itself, even though it can only do 4 isomags, it's still really capable. So yeah, the Atlantis and the Iwani are both going to be up near the top of my C-store ship list. They're both really good. No. No, Dan. To get that second hangar bay, there's always a cost, and yeah, it's you always lose the experimental weapon there. Yeah. Yeah, so Sizers, yeah, someone was asking me about the original Inquiry versus the Levenger, and I said I'd go for the Legendary Avenger in every situation right now, because yes, the original Inquiry can do 8 isomags versus 7, but there's still all these other consoles we want to run, and if I go for the Inquiry, I'm just going to have to drop an isomag anyways. So why not take the platform that's got the better maneuverability, the Legendary Avenger? Will there be new categories on the Oscar list for doing the most damage with certain ships? Probably not, because we can't accurately track that. Yeah, like Chiop said there too. 4 isomags and channel runs, definitely, because of all the other consoles you want to run in a left-right, definitely I can see why that would be preferred. Yeah, honestly, the 14th bundle, you know, about what, 9 months in now. The 14th bundle, do I think it was the best anniversary bundle? No. Do I regret buying it? No. I think the ships from it are all good, except the Tal Shiar Adaptive Destroyer. That still makes me salty. Legendary APU cruiser when? Probably never. How does the Adamant compare with the Atlantis? The Adamant is losing an extra aft weapon, so the Adamant is 511, and the Atlantis is 521. So you get an extra turret or omni aft. Gould attack, yeah. By the way, I know I don't have an affiliate link here, um, but Master Replicas does have a bunch of these Stargate models in stock for those of you interested in that stuff. They also have now the actual SG-1 Stargate. I believe they actually have these in stock in person now. There's your gold Hatak mothership there. Daedalus, the Hammond, Death Glider, F302. Nice. But yeah, going back to the question of am I gonna pick up Muds bundles? Disco Inferno, I mean, there's clearly a lot of value to that, but after that, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go for a second bundle or if I just want to save up for the anniversary bundle. I mean, with the YouTube channel there, um, if I do pick up another Muds bundle and, charge a little bit more Zen by the end of the year, I can probably use some of that as a write-off for the channel. I don't know. Decisions, gonna be some decisions I'll have to make. So many items you want? I am curious to see too if we'll see another Muds bundle before the end of the year. How many of the original Cryptic staff are still left in with the current Stow team with Deca? I think there's, I don't have an exact number. Probably around 10 or so. I don't know. That there's still some there that are being laid off at the end of November, or not the end of November, right before Thanksgiving, basically. Kale had initially said that the end of October was going to be his final day, but he hasn't said anything else on LinkedIn. So I mean, if that's held true, then yeah, he wouldn't be there anymore. Um, what would my 15th anniversary bundle wish list be? Oh, I honestly I don't know yet. It's more of like what ship stats am I hoping for? Indeed, Jason. But one thing too with this entire transition, obviously the communication, the lack thereof, from Deca isn't great. I have seen a lot of people coming in recently saying, is this a bad time to be starting this game? Is this game even going to be around, 6 months to a year from now? The answer is yes. The game is still going to be around. It's as good of a time as any to start playing the game. It's a not great situation going on with the dev team right now, and the silence isn't great. But this game is continuing to get development. There's new content incoming. There's more ships coming. They're not shutting the game down anytime soon. They've been hiring people the entire year. They've hired an entire team to continue development of it. This is a product that they know makes money, and they want to continue making money from it for as long as they possibly can. So this game ain't gonna go anywhere anytime soon. We are in a rough patch, which is something I said would happen a year ago when we first learned about this transition. Um, we're in that rough patch, and we have been for the past couple of months. But you know, moving into next year's post anniversary event, I think things will probably start to pick back up a little bit. There's a lot of players really concerned with the game's lifespan because they just have no communication. Yeah. But yeah, ideas for the 15th bundle. That might be a good video. I don't have ideas right now with that. That might not be a bad idea to do a video going over predictions and hopes. Yeah, I think this game will still be around for several more years. It's not going anywhere. More content's incoming. I mean, hell, we had a TFO leak, a couple months back that was talked about on some of the discords. That was very quickly pulled, but we know that there's more incoming. I can promise each and every one of you that there's more content coming for this game. Seem like I'm the only ship collector on your channel. There's going to be a lifetime sale popping up probably end of next week. And for the first 2 days of it, it'll be 50% off. So if anyone's interested in that, be prepared to jump in and get it while it's at that 50% discount. If you're on PC, I think the lifetime sub at 50% off is still good. And I think the game is going to be around more than long enough for you to reap the benefits of that lifetime membership. If you're on console, remember the console lifetime is a weaker version. You guys don't get the monthly Zen stipend over on console. So it's a bit more questionable over there, but if you have lots of characters, you want more inventory slots, then the lifetime makes sense. Yeah, I agree the lack of communication is not a good look. Zen sale soon on Epic, before the end of the month, Maricat. And of course, when you are buying Zen or literally anything else on Epic, if you're buying anything on Epic, guys, please use code CasualSAB at checkout. That does help me out, helps the channel out, and Epic has a lot of great games. You get cash back too, like they got the Red Dead Redemption, and you get 5% cash back on the Epic Game Store. And if you use code CasualSAB, I get 5% also, which I appreciate. Shameless shilling, yes. The career code's CasualSAB. How often is the 10th bundle available on PC? Every 2 to 3 months. Yeah, Neil Thomas, I signed up for it. I think, especially given that they delayed having content, in the fall here, the new story mission, I would expect the anniversary episode to be a bit higher quality than we're used to. The epic game, it is. It's always the very top thing on the like the pinned comments on my videos. Terrible shilling. I'm sorry. 5% on zero is what? Zero. Yeah, exactly, Dan. There is new stuff incoming. I do think it would help, for if Kale's not there anymore, then have something put out there via Pharaoh and just say like, hey guys, we are working on stuff, but if they can't communicate with us yet, then just use the folks cryptic to say, hey, just use the options they have to get some sort of message out there. You can get your Epic games on your Steam Deck. I don't know what's going on with Pharaoh. And why is there not any ISCs or gambling happening? Nothing is sold for me on the exchange, as far as I could tell. And it's a Q&A stream, just a chill Q&A. Just really casual. Events are coming in with the hard sell. Daniel, this month is when I would expect it. So I didn't expect the red alert to also go to console. So as soon as that red alert event ends, probably after that. Gambling and addiction, terrible. I look, guys. I know the lack of communication sucks, but it'll everything, hopefully a couple months from now, everything will turn around and be fine. I don't know. It's not a good look. Not a good look for them. That's going to be one of the first things I complain about in my questions video. That's not the right video. Yeah, this is another video coming soon too. Like right here. Yeah, like the first thing. We're now a year into this transition, and we haven't heard anything from DECA through official channels, and given everything going on with Cryptic, communication on their part has understandably dropped off as the year progressed. So the questions here are, what level of communication and community engagement can we expect from DECA long term? Will we see a resumption of weekly streams like 10 Forward, or will it just be blogs? And what platforms is DECA going to engage with us on? There's some big questions there. And some of the questions that I'm going to be going over in this video, some of them I may feel I already know the answer to, like the lifetime sub. I know some of you are worried about that. I think that's going to continue. Events wise, the event campaign, I think we all know is going to continue. But it's just some of this would be nice to just hear from them, just some reassurance saying, yeah, this this is going to continue on. When will be the last event campaign on PC? We'll be having a swarm event start up probably in about a week. As soon as the red alert event ends or 2 weeks. So the red alert event is running from the 7th up through the 14th. And after that, we should be getting the final part of the year-long event campaign on PC, and console should be getting the Typhoon event. The concern that I do have with regards to engagement is I don't think we're going to see, a return of, streams from them. All of the community managers they've hired are in different parts of the world where timing wise it may not work out very well for the US time zone streams that we're used to. I don't know what to expect in that regard. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of questions I go over here, and the reason this video hasn't been done yet is there's still a little bit of polish I want to do with it. I made sure to put in some comments here, some questions that I'd seen from some of you. Like, we know Stowe's going to be getting content on a similar release cadence to what we've seen, in prior years. But there were people, concerned. What about Champions? What about Neverwinter? Just some reassurances there probably would be good for him also. And, for future game development, we're hearing about that they want to, retain, content being released at a similar release cadence to what we've seen. But do they ever intend to expand, past that? especially once they've established themselves, like there's going to need to be something to bring people back in, and some sort of bigger release, some bigger system. Um, I think would probably be good to bring people back in to let people know, hey, this game is still going. Um, Possible we get a version of the 10 forward. Yeah, Jason, I think whoever's managing events needs to get on top of that, because that's happened now multiple times in the past couple of months. Infinity promo packs have been running for almost 4 weeks now. I mean, that's not a bad thing, to be honest. Um, I think the Infinity promo pack should always be in the Zen store. I think it's a mistake on their part to remove those from the Zen store. I think that year round, when you're buying R&D packs or duty officer packs in the Zen store, they should always be the promo pack variants. I don't agree with how they uh, are not promo variants most of the year. When is the winter event starting? Probably first week of December. Do I think they'll invest in fixing the server problems? If there's enough complaints about it, and if they're actually made aware of it, then hopefully. But yeah, the servers for this game, they're not great. Um, I'm gonna include some footage of that when I'm complaining about that in the video. Here's this video on it. There we go. So I put this video together a couple weeks ago, and this was about some DPS runs I did back in September. But like you can see, that was just like 2 days worth of examples of like just rubber banding to the side and all that, abilities not activating, stuff like that. You can see the jittering really bad. Like how it's moving to the side there. Like that's just the servers just, and it was doing that for everyone in the run. So it wasn't like it was just, for me, it was everyone in the run getting that exact set of issues. And like you could see them, the map just isn't working. Like it took 15 seconds here for the spheres to actually spawn in on the sides. It was just ridiculous. Yeah, so server performance definitely needs to be brought up. It's a major issue. Did I apply for the community manager spot? I did. And I did not go anywhere with that. Be happy if loadouts actually worked. I wish so. The pity system does not reset after a certain amount of time. The pity counter, as far as I'm aware from a player point of view, there's a counter that goes into your like character file, and it's counting how many boxes since your win. So that's always going to be there, but that is per character. So if you go to a different character, that character has its own pity tracker, basically. How do you have the DPS meter if you're on PC? I've got videos showing how to install it, but yeah, if you're on PC, you have a couple different options for setting up a parser. So let me get those linked for you. So here is how to install a combat parser, and here is the Oscar specific one. Free for all battle zone from the early days of Stowe. Karat? Yeah, Karat's still around. Okay. I think people want to see what server performance is like, so we got. Even my gem is suffering withdrawal symptoms. Yes, that's why it's like that. Let me swap ships here. Of course, Shan. Of course. Okay, so is server performance, are those issues exclusive to just high-end runs? You know, let's do a, you know, we haven't done one of these in a while. How many people do we have in here? Prometheus, thank you for the follow. We're gonna just go into how many people here? So YouTube's 153, Twitch is 33. About 180 people here. We got plenty of people for this one. Let's go in and do Starbase Fleet Defense. Starbase Fleet Defense on the Fed side, public queue. Let's see what the server performance is like in this content. Is this issue exclusive to high-end runs, or is it just a matter of the game can't handle a ton of players all in the same instance? Let's find out. Stanky Boy, I have intentionally left that character shaking because I felt it added extra character to that being a poor lockbox gambler. I felt that the shaking was an appropriate effect for that character. Okay. Public queue, Starbase Fleet Defense. Yeah, you bring in whatever ship you want. If you want to bring a jelly, bring it in. Bring in whatever it is you want. Starbase Fleet Defense, public queue. This is a 20-player TFO. 20-player TFO. You have to be on the Fed side, though. And we're on PC, of course. Cryo's World is a decent budget console. I think it's a good starter console. It's not one that I use on any high-end builds, but I think for budget to mid-range, it's fine. Disgusting YouTuber mocks victims of addiction. Look, I've got a problem, okay? I have my own set of problems. I've got piles of actual, you know, Eagle Moss ship boxes behind me. The room is messy, but let me show. Look at that pile of boxes. And yeah, the boxes I've kept above it so I can ship them out. But look at that pile of boxes. It's crazy. Just look at my inventory. Hey, this character doesn't even have maxed out inventory. We have a pop for Starbase Fleet Defense. Does it make it okay? I'm sorry. I don't have a bot farm. I do have a server next to me, but I can assure you there's no bots or any automation running on it right now. Well, there's nothing related to Star Trek Online running on it. Thankfully, Triz isn't watching this stream, so he won't be able to make a sound clip out of it. Here we go. Here we go. Starbase Fleet Defense. This is a 20-player TFO, the best server performance possible. If you get map transfer failed, then swap maps. Also, this map is so old that it's not designed with lighting 2.0. So if you don't want the map to look like this, go to your settings and under graphics, turn lighting 2.0 off, and that'll fix this map. This map is not designed to be compatible with the lighting 2.0. My server, how much dedicated RAM to the server?
Civilian freighters
It's got 128 gigs.
Outbound, requesting escort to the warp out traffic beacons.
I got a decent deal on some ECC memory a while back on eBay that I put in that server. Still failed. I thought about a 96, the 2x48 gig stick set for when I bought my new RAM sticks here just recently, but for right now, 64 is fine for me. It was 180 for the kit that I got, and going for the 96 gigs, it would have been like 320. It's like the 64 gigs is enough for me right now. And the only reason I did that, because I already had 64 gigs, I basically swapped from 4 16 gig sticks over to 2 32 gig. And I'll just sell those 4 sticks to cover the cost of the 2. Kid asking the Minecraft devs question, gotcha. I haven't played Minecraft in a while. I used to play that game so much when it first came out. Even map transfer didn't help, got booted. Oof. No Vovin on your jelly? I also figured with just the 2.6 is better for stability. What jellyfish traits, or what traits do I have for the jellyfish? So right now, ship of the line, or that's UD. Improved photonic officer. She's a predator. I don't know why I have that on here. It looks like my traits did not actually copy over correctly. So my traits are sort of busted. Nick NB has a really good build video out there for a high performance jellyfish. I'd say to take a look at that. We have to defend the freighters. And watch the server performance as we do this and see how it goes.
Additional enemy ships attacking Group Bravo. Freighter Group Bravo away. Enemy reinforcements attacking Alpha Group. New enemy contacts near Delta Group.
You just defend things.
Freighter Group Delta away. Enemy ships warping in near Charlie Group. Freighter Group Alpha away.
Then we have to head back to the starbase for the second phase. This is
long-range sensors detect additional contacts incoming.
Yeah, this is a bit of a
30
slower queue, but it typically in the past it would lag out with this many people in here. Maybe the jellyfish is making things go fast enough?
Large enemy fleet inbound.
I mean, performance hasn't been terrible so far. Oh, it's starting to spike up a little bit.
Warp signatures closing to our outlying facilities.
We gotta head back to the outer areas now. Where we initially were.
Enemy ships are headed toward our outlying facilities. Enemy ships are sabotaging our facilities.
I'm surprised this is as smooth as it is. Typically, when we've done this on stream before, it would lag out a bit. We want it to lag out. That was what I was trying to demonstrate here, but so far it's just... it's running fine. What about the map transfer fails? That's true. Normally swapping maps or relogging should fix that, but you and
Heavy
Michi
vessels
both
detected. Enemy ships of the line.
said you
30
didn't really
seconds
run
to
into any
contact.
issues, so weird. Needs more effects spam. Yeah, I think it's just that everything is literally just dying instantly. So the entities aren't having time to left the game now.
Large group of enemy contacts incoming.
Warning. Ship is under attack. Target's shields have failed. 4 shields failing.
There it goes. I mean, it's starting to get a little bit choppy, but even then, it's not really that bad.
Hull integrity below 75%.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, I'm surprised. Normally, when we've run this in the past, it would lag out really bad, but it's not doing bad.
Sounding the all clear.
That is literally that's all you have to do for that TFO. Yeah, okay. So that did not go as expected. I was hoping for the demonstration that would be laggy as hell, but nope. Apparently not. Now, when you leave the map, if you did change your lighting over, make sure to change it back. So options, graphics, lighting 2.0. Go. I guess I'm stuck in the planet. First time on that map for you. It used to be popular. Like, that used to be something you'd have a fleet get together to do. Terrible Singo. And nothing's selling right now on the market. What are deltas at? Deltas are down to 32? What? What are Delta Alliance doffbacks at? That's the next question. 16.5, that's crazy. Okay, let's run something else. Yeah, well, we're seeing a dip in activity in general for the game right now within the player base because no new story content seems to have people a little bit down. And just the constant event spam back to back is sort of burning people out. So just we're seeing a bit less activity right now than normal, but it'll pick back up as we approach the end of November and especially the beginning of December. You'll see activity really pick back up. Bughole, sorry you ran into issues there. Good night. Okay. What do I want to bring out? Axel, yes. That is very true. Thinking about what ship I want to bring out here. Play with the Achilles. Do I still have that out? Yeah, I think I dry docked it. Do I run torps on the Vulcan ship? Yeah, I showed this on stream once, but my Cheval has a Psi torp setup on it, specialized for like for side nuking type stuff, and this was a bit older. This is not a build for anyone to replicate. In fact, if most of you try to replicate this exact build, it's going to perform in like absolute garbage for you. It's designed for like one specific situation, and outside of that situation, it is absolute garbage. The ship itself is fine, but the build I have on it is designed for one environment, and anywhere else, not good. Galax, Atlantis. I don't have my Atlantis set up. I do, however, have a Herodian Predator set up here. Let's see, what else do I want to put on here? Okay. I guess you guys were saying infected before. Let's get an infected done. Infected, the conduit elite public queue. Let's go. Means gambling soon. No, nothing's sold for me to gamble. But I am going to have to bail out after this. So this is going to actually be the final TFO for today.
The situation is grim. Begin by just...
Yeah. Michi, if you're watching, I'm here to let you down. Just want you to know that ahead of time. We're already stuttering forward. It's always a great sign.
Scanning the nanite trench. God. Digital data is available.
That didn't hit my agony, no! I thought I hit it. I wasn't even close to it on my tray. Yeah, this is already garbage. Why am I frozen? Oh, engine got shut off. This is absolutely horrible. This is horrible. Oh. This is bad. Michi, I am really letting the team down here. Chiops, don't even watch.
Probe is closing in on the trench. Destroy it.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be clean, but it's not good. Yeah, 1.14. Not good at all. That was so bad.
4 shields failing.
That was so bad. Ugh.
Right shields failing.
Sensors confirm.
As soon as I like realized I didn't hit agony at the start, I was just like, that was terrible. Okay. That was abysmally that was rough on my part. Letting him down on stream and end runs, total disappointment. Yeah. Washed, I know. I know. I'm a washed DPS player. This is what I get for like not really playing the game much this past month, outside of like streams and like doing videos. Like I just in general haven't been doing much game wise this past month, and especially Stowe. October was a bit lower activity for me than normal, but it happens. Yeah, that was rough. I'm sorry for exposing you all to that casual gameplay. But I do need to bail out here. So, you know, again, thank you to everyone for stopping by. Remember that there's some more giveaways running over in the CasualSAB Discord. These are going to be running here for a little bit longer, so let me show you those quick. So the Eagle Moss STO Chimera ship model, I don't actually know where I have that right now, but that is still up for grabs for another 21 days, so 3 weeks. And next week, there's going to be the drawing for some T6 Lobby ships. Okay, so make sure to enter those if you haven't already. Those are PC only for the Lobby ships and USA only for the ship model. Link to that Discord is down below. Thank you all for tuning in. I will see you guys next time.